Hi Aquarius, welcome to your September 2019 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And just to let you guys know, I actually won't be offering personal readings this month. It's possible that I'll actually be offering them by the time I start posting the October videos. I'll definitely give you guys an update in those October videos if that's the case or not. Worst case, it might be, the very beginning of October when I start offering them again. And also, for those of you who haven't seen the spread before, this is a spread I do called the Bridging the Gap spread. And the way it works is the cards on this side would represent your energy towards the connection with your main love interest. The cards on the right side would represent their energy toward the connection. And then these would be the past energies, present energies, future energies. And once we're done with all those, we'll actually pull some oracle cards to help bridge the gap. That's where that dynamic comes into play. And for those of you who are wondering what decks these are, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. Alright, so I have to say, just as soon as I was laying these cards out, I got a feel for one pretty clear story. And I don't know, you guys always have something interesting going on, but we'll try to fit more scenarios in there, but one particular storyline popped out to me right away. More or less has to do with control, but yeah, we'll just jump into the main spread. So in the past position on your side, we have the Ace of Coins. So this could work out a couple of ways. One way could be saying that you might have been considering making an offer to someone, and a fairly stable offer as well. But what I always say with the Ace energies versus the Page energies is, to me, the Ace is when it's more in the idea stage. It hasn't actually, been spoken out to anyone. Whereas the Page, which actually, with the Princess of Coins is in the present, and that represents the Page energy, the Page is actually making the offer. So, this could have been an idea, and maybe there were some discussions made around it as well, but just nothing really put into place. So I would say at most that's as far as it got. But this can just represent, you possibly considering making an offer to someone, as far as, maybe moving into some type of a commitment. The past energy on their side, we have the King of Chalices. So this is actually a court card for Scorpio, so some of you could have been dealing with a Scorpio. Since Scorpio is a natural representative of the 8th house, your 8th house is Virgo, so it could also be a Virgo energy you were dealing with. And another way this could play out is maybe this is just the energy that this person gave off. Now, the first vibe that jumped out to me in this particular case is you might have felt that they were a bit controlling. But also, if we consider the fact that Scorpio represents your 10th house, this can be saying that this is someone who offered, they were the ones who maybe wanted to have a stable commitment, and maybe you were thinking it over. So they might have actually made an offer to you, and you were giving it some consideration. And it could also be someone in the workplace as well, since Scorpio represents your 10th house. So those are the dynamics that I see there primarily, but that's what I'm picking up on. In the present energy, we have the Princess of Coins. So to me, this is actually, like we were saying with the Ace energy, this would represent more producing something in a tangible sense. So, for example, if this was an offer that someone made to you in the past or you were considering making, this can just be saying that now you're at the point where you're ready to accept that offer, or if it was you who was thinking of making the offer, now you're ready to extend that offer. But what's interesting to me is if we look at the difference, right? With the Ace, we see all of that green, right? It looks like it's very fertile and fresh. And then when we look at the Princess energy here, it looks like the trees are, a bit dying out some. So to me, that this could just represent that this is an offer that you sat on for a long time. So again, whether it was you thinking of extending the offer to someone or thinking of accepting their offer if they made it to you, I feel like this is saying that it's probably quite a bit of time that has passed. And, again, could have just been because, let's say, like I was mentioning, that controlling energy, maybe that was your reluctance to get into a relationship with them, right? If they were the one who made the offer to you, you might have felt they were a bit controlling, so you're really thinking it over, like, yeah, I see some potential there, but them being controlling, I could see being an issue for me, right? I mean, you guys are Aquarius. That goes without saying that being with someone controlling isn't really going to work out for you in the long run, right? So that could have been what's going on there. But where it gets interesting is the present position on their side. They got three cards. They have the Five of Swords, and this is actually an Aquarius card. So I have to say, if you guys do feel like the energy is reversed, then trust that as well. We have the Five of Chalices, which is the Five of Cups, and we have the Emperor. So immediately what came out to me here with this combination of cards, Five of Swords, if we think about the Five of Swords in the traditional tarot, it represents, those ego conflicts where going into it that nothing good is going to come out of it, but yet you still engage in it anyway. So what I feel here is, for those of you where this is a person who in the past made an offer to you and you just took a really long time to come around and accept it, this could be them now, being petty with you, basically, because they felt left out in the cold, right? They felt like maybe it took you forever to give them a decision, let them know what was on your mind. Now they're trying to be petty, coming in that Emperor energy of trying to be very controlling, right? So this is what I was saying in the beginning. I was picking up on the vibe of control. So that's really what pops out to me first. Now, this is an Aries card too, so you could be dealing with an Aries possibly. But what's interesting as well is they look kind of similar. Even though this is an Aries and this is a Scorpio card, to me the guys look kind of similar. So there's that as well. But yeah. So, and then if we think about the fact that Aries is your third house of communication too, this can just be saying that, you come back around and they come at you and maybe a bit combatively with their communication and letting you know how they felt left out in the cold, right? And, that could be what the issue is in the present. So there could be some kind of conflict playing out. In the future on your side, we see the Two of Arrows. So this could play out a couple different ways. Well, this is actually a card of Libra, and it represents the first 10 degrees of Libra. So if we're just looking at a timeline, since this is the future position, this can just be saying that around the last 10 days of September, for some of you, maybe you'll consider a truce, right? Because that Two of Swords energy is sometimes referred to as a truce energy. I could also say that now you're weighing your options again, right? Because maybe you finally decide, oh, all right, you know what? Maybe I do want to pursue something with this person. And then they come off as controlling and maybe a bit combative. And then it makes you reconsider again, like, okay, do I really want to do this with this person? So I'm really getting like this on again, off again, push pull vibe between you guys. And I feel like there was some similar vibes to that in recent readings for you. Maybe not last month, but somewhere in the recent past, I feel like I was picking up on a similar dynamic, although it was more with Taurus. So this could still be that person, and maybe this is just how you view them, that they're very controlling. So that could be one way it's playing out. On the more positive side, it can say that, you guys get over this, right? Because maybe you needed to go through that spat. They had to get it out of their system because they felt like they left you waiting or you left them waiting, for however long. And then they just really let you have it verbally, right? Because in the future position on their side, too, we have the Knight of Swords. So, this is technically a card of Gemini, a court card for Gemini, but again, we get that controlling vibe there too, right? I mean, it pretty much speaks for itself. We see the guy there and then the woman, we're going to have to assume that's the knight, right? So this could just be saying, again, they're coming off in that controlling energy. And then this could be more through their communication too, so they could be coming across a bit combative. And with you and the Two of Arrows energy there, it could be saying that you're trying to be more of the peacemaker in this situation between the two of you. But this can just be saying that they're still in that mode. One way you could look at it is to go from the King of Chalices to the Emperor to the Knight of Swords. It can represent that they're easing up on that energy a little bit, not being as controlling. But yeah, it can just definitely represent some combative communication. Like I said, it can just be as simple as them needing to get it out of their system. Maybe they held back a lot on how they were feeling with the whole thing, and maybe that was part of the issue too. Maybe it's all the other way around, where you made an offer to them and they were trying to control how much they let you know about their feelings, which no offense to Scorpios if they're watching, but that's another thing people say about Scorpios too. They could hide their feelings a bit. So that could be another way it's playing out. So at the bottom of the deck on their side too, we have the Ace of Swords, which is about, speaking that truth. And also in this particular deck too, it also represents giving up control too. So maybe that's the struggle for them, that they're realizing that, okay, maybe you guys just really need to get everything out there, right? Have your talk that you need to have, and maybe that'll clear the air. And then that's where we see the control aspect subsiding. But at the very least in the present, it looks like they're really, really gonna possibly cause a bit of a conflict. And like I said, at the root of it, though, if we see the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups, it's because they, obviously they had hurt feelings. So definitely could have been a blow to their ego, whatever happened between the two of you in the past. Whether you want to put up with that or not, I don't know. That's up to you. Like I said, it does at least appear to be subsiding. So maybe if you pick up on that and maybe that's what you're feeling out, like, okay, if they let go of those control issues and you start to see them become less and less controlling, maybe that's saying, all right, at that point, maybe you'll pursue things with them. But until then, you might be like, yeah, I might want to hold off, right? And maybe that's what that energy is about too. Like, yeah, I don't know if I want to accept that. So there could be some trust issues there too. Bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Prince of Staves, which is the equivalent of the Knight of Wands. So this can just be saying that you're ready to take action too, which wouldn't surprise me because, like we said, we do see the Ace move into the Page energy, so that can represent movement. This is a bit of the Sagittarius energy as well, and what's interesting to me about that is Jupiter is in Sagittarius, which is your 11th house, and you guys as Aquarius here are natural rulers of the 11th house. So there could be some significance with that too. Maybe this holdup was while Jupiter was retrograde in your 11th house. Maybe it had you feeling a bit unsure. Now that it started moving direct again, it started moving direct around August 11th, I believe. Maybe that's, making you more sure of yourself, but now this person might be in their feelings like this person took me forever, took forever to get back to me. I don't know what the deal was, so might have to smooth some things over. Like I said, whether you want to do that or not is up to you, obviously. But see if we get any additional messages from the Oracle deck here. This is the Mystic Moon Oracle deck. And for those of you who hadn't seen this type of video from me before, I do pre-shuffle these before we start recording. And then I look for jumpers from this deck. So first I'm going to be looking for any unspoken messages from you toward them. And then from them toward you after that. And since these are generals, if I shuffle for a while and nothing pops up, I just take that as a sign and move on. So we'll see. I'll shuffle for a bit here, see if we get any unspoken messages from you toward them. Alright, doesn't look like anything's coming up. I'll give it a couple more shuffles though. Alright, yeah, so nothing there. We'll see if anything pops up from them toward you though. Almost had one there. Oh, there we go. Got two that came up. Okay, let's see what we have. Alright, so we have my mind and heart always comes back to you. So yeah, I mean, to me that one is almost self-explanatory as far as that's the thing that I pick up here in the present. To someone on the surface, you might look at that combative energy and think, oh, they're just being an asshole or whatever, right? But with that Five of Cups underneath that shows that underlying that energy, right, where they might come across as combative, is the fact that they felt left out in the cold in the past, maybe because it took you so long to either accept their offer or to extend an offer. And then, they're coming out of it a bit egotistical and being controlling now. And at the root of that, basically, is the fact that they don't want to get hurt again. But, again, it's up to the other person if they want to put up with someone who's coming out with that energy, right? And then, second card we got is I'm sorry I couldn't do right by you. So interesting. I don't know if that's tied into the same thing or not. Now, that can be saying that after they lash out at you, they might feel bad about it, right? If that's what ends up happening. Or again, if this was all about they were the ones who extended the offer to you in the beginning and they were being very controlling, maybe this is showing that yes, they are trying to work their way out of that energy and not be as controlling, and maybe that's what that's about. But pretty interesting either way. Like I said, I do feel like there's definitely feelings there, but how they're coming out may not be the healthiest, put it that way. All right. Next thing we'll do is we'll take a look at the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So try to pull one card from here. For those of you who watch my general readings, this is one of the decks I've been using since day one, so you're probably used to it. Same deal here. I did pre-shuffle this one, and then we're just going to try to pull one for just a general overview of the reading to wrap up everything. Alright, I do like to at least wrap these readings up with a reading with a card wrapper from this deck, so we'll give it a little bit longer, but hopefully something comes up soon. There we go. Alright. We got mending. Interesting. So, like I said, I don't know. It's up to you guys if you, I don't know, if you want to mend this connection or not. Like I said, it looks like they definitely might come across a bit toxic and controlling, but like I said, I do feel it's mainly because they're hurt. Their feelings are hurt. It's like an ego thing, but again, what assurance do you have that that's not going to keep happening, right? So maybe that's what the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Swords is about, as they, finally talk about it in a more healthy way, get it out, in the open. You guys have to work through it, maybe. But yeah, here's the artwork for it. The number is 52. So let's see what that has to say. All right. It says forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. The Oracle's message: each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal: the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. So definitely interesting there, and it definitely seems to support the energy we were seeing in the main spread, especially with the Two of Swords. Like I was saying, that's a truce energy, and that's coming up in the future for you. And at the very least, with the Knight of Swords, I do feel that's still a bit of a controlling vibe, but at least it does seem to be, progressively improving, if you will, because like I said, it looks like in the present they just might really just blurt it all out, and it might be a fight, and things may improve from there, but maybe it just needs to come out anyway, right? Even if not in the healthiest way. The relationship message says you've come to a place where forgiveness is necessary if you're to move forward. Separate or together, you and the other person are still experiencing the effects of a hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge this gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love do? Only good will come of forgiveness and an honest redress. So yeah, and that's another way it's playing out too, which is to say, And maybe that's where that Two of Arrows energy comes in too, which is to say, after you guys go through that whole conflict situation, right? Maybe this is you trying to decide, okay, do I want to pursue this connection with the person, right? Now you know all of the details of what was going on there, right? However toxically they may have come out. And now you have that ability to make that decision. Now that you know everything, everything's out in the open with the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, right? And then the Knight of Wands energy at the bottom of the deck can come out, two different ways, which is to say that fight or flight response, basically, right? So some of you might decide to just leave, even if temporarily after the conflict, and say, all right, I need to just get away from this and figure out what's going on. Or others of you could be saying that you're taking action to repair it. So it's going to play out different ways for all of you, I guess. But hopefully you guys got something from that, and I'll talk to you all next month. All right, bye.